Part 4, Powers and Roots. You will find this on page 6 in the Namibian Mathematics Grade 9 textbook, y equals mx plus c to success. Squares, square roots, cubes and cube roots. Let's start with square. X to the power of 2. The result is the product when a number is multiplied by itself. Like 8 squared, that will be 8 times 8, which will be 64. How do we press it on the calculator? We press 8, we press that button x squared, and then we press equal. Square root, square root. What two numbers, the same, were used to get that product? So the square root of 64 is 8. How do we press it on the calculator? Square root 64 equals. Okay, and if I want to explain, can you remember it like this? So if I take 8 and I square it, and then I will get 64, the arrow. And if I want to reverse back, I will take the square root. So remember that square and square root is reverse operations. Okay, the next one. Cube, x to the power 3. The result is the product when the same number is used 3 times. So 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. How do I press it on the calculator? 2 to the power, you can press either this key or this key, 3, and then equal. Okay, cube root, cube root. What 3 numbers, the same, were used to get that product? So the cube root of 8, that will be 2. How do we press it on the calculator? You search for this button. If it's on top, you press shift or second function. Then you press the cube root, then 8, then equal. And remember it like this. If it's 2, okay, so in this case, if it's 2 and I cube it, I will get 8. And if I reverse back, I will take the cube root. So the cube root of 8 will be 2. So remember that cube and cube root will be reverse operations. Okay. Now, the perfect squares to remember. 1 square is 1. 2 square is 4. 3 square is 9. 4 square is 16. 5 square is 25. Now, it's very good if you can memorize these numbers and remember it as a sequence. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, 225, 256, 289, 324, 361, it's 19 square, and 20 square is 400. So try to remember the sequence. The same with cube numbers. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So it's 1, 8, 27, 64, 125, 216, 343, 512, 729, and 1000. So at least memorize that pattern also. Okay, let's look at an example. Square roots and cube roots by factors. If I ask you, determine the square root of 196 through decomposition into prime factors. So the prime factors of 196. So what do? Is we first work out the prime factors. Remember with the blocks. So I will get 2, 2, 7, 7. If I write it in index notation, it's 2 to the power 2 times 7 to the power 2. If I take the square root of 196, so then I will just put the square root, and how will I get it out of the square root? I will say 2 divided 2, that's 1. 2 divided 2, that's 1. And then 2 times 7, that will be 14. Okay. I want you to try now 3, number A as well as number C. You can stop the video, and as soon as you are finished, you can continue with the video. Okay, let's start. Try now 3. Okay, so if we start with number A, If I say determine the square root of the following through decomposition into prime factors. Now this is already in index form. So index notation, so we just go the square root of 3 to the power 10, and then all that we can do to get it out of that root, remember there's a 2, so then it will be 10 divided by 2, and the answer will be 3 to the power of 5, and if we work it out on the calculator, we will get 243. Okay, number C, 900. Now first take the 900 and break it up into the product of its prime factors. So start with 2. If I start with 2 and I press it on the calculator, so I will just say 900 divide 2, and that will be 450. I can again divide it by 2, and then I will get 225. And now let's test if it can divide by 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can divide by 3. And if I divide it by 3, I will get 75. This again can divide by 3. 7 plus 5 is 12. 12 can divide by 3, and that will be 25. And then 5, 5, 5, 1. So my answer will be 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. Write it in index notation. So 2 to the power 2 times 3 to the power 2 times 5 to the power 2. And if I then put the square root, 2 to the power 2 times 3 to the power 2 times 5 to the power 2, and then my answer will be, remember, it's that 2 divide the inside 2 divide by the outside 2, the inside 2 outside, inside, outside, and that will be 2 times 3 times 5, and if I work it out, I will get an answer of 30. Okay, let's look at example 4. Determine this by making use of prime factors. Now it's the cube root. Now I do exactly the same. I find the prime factors, the product of the prime factors of 64 as well as 125. And then I do the same. I'm just saying 4, and I say 3. It's 4 to the power 3, so it's 3 divided the outside 3, 9 divided the outside 3, 3 divided the outside 3. So it will be 4a3 over 5. Okay. I want you to do, try now 4. Do for me number A, number C, yes, just number A and number C. Stop the video, and as soon as you are finished, you can continue with the video. Okay, let's start. Try now 4. Let's start with number A. Determine the cube root of the following. So first we have to just go and we have to work out 27000, and we're going to work first the product of the prime factors. So if we divide it by 2, we get 1313500. So we can divide it again by 2, and we get 6750, and then we divide it again by 2, and then it's 3375. Let's test if it can divide by 3. That's 12 plus it's 15, 16, 17, 18. It can divide by 3. So divide by 3, and it's going to be 1125. Let's test for 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can again divide by 3. And we get 375. 12, it can again divide by 3. And we get 125. Now it cannot divide by 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, but it can divide by 5. And if I divide it by 5, I get 25. And then divide 5, and I get 5. Divide 5, and I get 1. So this will be 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5 times 5 times 5. In an index notation, it's 2 to the power 3 times 3 to the power 3 times 5 to the power 3. And if I take the cube root, then it will be 2, 3 divide 3 times 3, 3 divide 3 times 5, 3 divide 3. And that's 2 times 3 times with 5. And I'm getting exactly the same answer as previous ones. And that is going to give me 30. And you can test it on a calculator to see if you're correct. Okay, and then the last one, we're just going to make space for that one. Number C. Okay, so if we look at number C, so it's 1 over 7 to 9. Okay, so if we look at this one, we are going to say, again, take the prime factors of 7 to 9. So 7 to 9, okay, start. Now, remember 7 to 9, 9, 10, 11. So it can divide by 3. So if I say 7 to 9 divide 3, I get 2, 4, 3. It can again divide, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It can again divide 3. And it will be 81. It can again divide 3. And that will be 27. Divide 3, it's 9. Divide 3, it's 3. Divide 3, it's 1. So this will be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So that will be 3 to the power of 6. Now remember, if I want to take the cube root, then it's 1 over 3 to the power 6. Now remember, the cube root of 1, it will just be 1. 1. And then it's 3, and I take 6 divide 3, and that will be 1 over 3 to the power of 2, and my final answer will be 1 over 9. So I do exactly the same. I just do it with the top as well as with the bottom number.